to be more open and receptive to your life constantly changing. I think as a young person, I probably would have thought if I realized my life was changing every day, I'd have been angry and frustrated that my life is not stable and constant. And, I think I would have been with Ramel. Nothing's working for me. It's, you know, um, but I'm just learning the beauty of being in the flow of allowing my life to just flow, and whether I understand what the flow is or not.
Welcome to Healing Conversations podcast.
Podcast.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Healing Conversations podcast.
Podcast.
As you know, this is our space. We come together and talk all things expansion, all things healing, all things growth. And we always bring where we are in real life time to this space. And as I always say, I'm a firm believer as we heal individually, we send that ripple out into the collective and we show them what healing looks like. Instead of preaching, we be the example and be the change that we want to see.
Yes, yes. And this is a community conversation. This is a dialogue. So make sure you are reaching out to us on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, that you're getting into the comments, that you're letting us know how these conversations are impacting you, what you're picking up from the tips, what you're learning from our guests. There's so much richness here, and you contribute to that when you add to the conversation. So make sure that you're hitting us up, letting us know how this is registering for you. This healing and this goodness isn't just for us. So let us know how it's impacting you and how it's feeding life into you. And we actually do got a preacher with us today. So we might get a little preachy. This is a beautiful friend that I met during the Ghana trip with the Agape International Spiritual Center. And we had some really powerful conversations about religion, about self-expression, about being a bold voice for change in the world. And I'm so grateful that I was able to connect with her on this journey, and that she invited me to come on her podcast as well, which we'll get a little bit more information about. But today we have Aleese with us today, and she will introduce herself more thoroughly. But yeah, we got some real good conversation coming today. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Aleese, so the people can know who you are.
Thank you, Angelique.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to begin by saying that I am a magnificent mother of a 29-year-old daughter who lives in a different state than me, and it's disappointing every day, but I learned to embrace it. But yes, I am a magnificent mother. That is a quote from my daughter. So I wear that title proudly. I am a sibling to 6 other siblings, and I am number 5 in 7. And so that's a very different dynamic. I have a set of twin sisters younger than me. And so I have these 4 siblings older than me, and I have these twins younger than me. And that has created a really interesting dynamic. I really do think being placed in this place in among the siblings has shaped my life. I've always been I've learned what I want to do and not want to do from my older siblings. I've also been very inspired by my younger siblings, who have always been much more free than I have been. They had just different access that I had as a young person growing up, and so they experienced freedom a lot earlier than I did, and so I began to be inspired by their freedom, even though they were 10 years younger than me. So I like to share that. I am an ordained minister in the United Church of Christ. I pastored congregational ministry for 15 years. Then I left the congregational ministry to do national ministry, very specifically around domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse prevention. And so I train clergy all across denominations and faith groups, how to identify and minister to support survivors, and also how to um, um, hold perpetrators or those who have caused harm. I like to call them those who have caused harm, hold them accountable and minister to them to offer them healing as well. And then I made one more transition, and then I started doing national work that really focused very specifically around Black women and women of color, um, doing work to train and advocate for the advocates across the country. We have so many Black and brown women who are doing advocacy work and policy work at the grassroots level that have very little support. And so they do this work in this trauma-filled environment, and they're working, directly with people who have experienced so much trauma. And very often they are also survivors of trauma themselves. And so I spent the last, I think, 20 years or 25 years being a pastor, so to speak, and leader for those advocates, which was work I thoroughly enjoyed. Um, and so recently I retired, and in the last couple of years, I I think it's retirement. I still do a lot of things, but I still like to frame it as retirement to remind myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that gave me the opportunity to write the book and letting go. And it also gave me the opportunity to do my dream, which was to start the podcast. Well, when I was younger, it was a radio show. But by the
Okay.
time I was old enough to do it, it
Things
was a
shifted
podcast show.
around a little bit. Yes. And can you
Yes.
share the name of your podcast for us?
Yes. Black Women Talking Back
Yes,
is the name of the
yes.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the book is letting go of things that feel really good to you, but are really bad for you. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Thank you for that. And I
Yeah.
trust that you all, even though Aleese is new to our atmosphere, that you all can really get a sense of why I encouraged her to come on today and why I'm grateful for her to be a part of this conversation today. So thank you, Aleese.
Thank you.
And Brother Ray Mal, you want to kick us off?
Yes, and I am honored to have you on, Elise, and honored to meet you. This is my first experience of you, and as I shared before we press record, she has such a beautiful spirit that I'm just feeling the energy. So
Thank you.
you already know this is going to be a good conversation today. Today we are going to dive into the talk of gratitude. And I feel like I always say that I listened to our first episode, and I always say this is going to be so supportive because all of our conversations will be supportive. So I just have to emphasize that. But today we're going to talk about gratitude, and in the time that we are in, just in this energetic field of the world, I feel like it's easy to drift into doubt, lack, fear, and focus on the things that aren't going right and things that we may feel like we're missing or things that we feel that we don't have access to. And I have been intentionally in practice of being present and just looking around and just seeing all the things that I am truly grateful for. And I have recently zoomed out of the material and just be, as Elise said when we hopped on before we pressed record, of like, she's alive. I am functioning body, like those big things, because they seem so little. But those big things we tend to overlook because we're looking and focusing at the little things, aka material things. And we can
Yeah.
get lost in that. And this world often makes us think that that is the end goal. Get all the money, get all the cars, get all the things, and then you'll be happy. And then you can be grateful for your life. But I am discovering that it's the opposite.
Mm.
As within, so without. So if you're able to feel grateful for every moment, every just experience that you have in life. And I know for me, growing up, I was taught that just good things happen to lucky people. You
Mm,
gotta have luck, maybe a little coincidence, and then something good will happen.
mhm,
So I believe that it wasn't a regular thing. It wasn't something I should look forward to.
mhm,
So I was the complainer. I complained, I was negative, I was always like, oh, look at them, look what they have. And I judged people because I didn't see all that I had. And I lived my life in a space and place of comparison, which
mhm,
made me always feel like I was less than.
mhm,
So everyone was above and I was below. So how can I be grateful when there's so much more that I want to have, but I don't have access to? Quotes in the air, because at the time I believed that to be true.
mhm,
But as I've been on my journey of self-development, healing, expansion, and growth, I've been brought to the awareness of what you focus on, what you speak of, and what you appreciate, it expands, it grows. And I started to shift my focus and I started to physically see the shifts in my life, whether as I was attracting opportunities, attracting people, attracting things that matched where I was. So I started to distance, well, actually not even distance myself, but just vibrationally drift myself away from the complainers, away from those who are always looking for the things that were going wrong. And I started to align and attract the people who were just so in appreciation for life and the things that they had and the things that they were doing. And that started to amplify my gratitude because I'm like, well, we over here just grateful. That sounds like a celebration and party to me. So
right,
today
right.
we're gonna
Mm.
just really unpack being in gratitude and even honoring the times that you're not, but how to get you back to focusing on what may be overlooked because what you may be giving your attention and the focus to. So I'm excited. I'm gonna land it there.
Yes. Ooh,
Yes,
I just want to
yes.
touch real quick on what Raymel said about intentional practice, because I think often there's this idea that, oh, you just feel grateful when good things happen, or you have to be lucky enough for something good to happen. And then that's what brings the gratitude and the joy and the happiness. But as he was sharing, it is intentional, it is a practice, it is a focus, it's a discipline. And that's what the healing work is about. It's about taking the time to observe the automatic things like our breath, like our heart beating, like our arm moving, like our head being straight up. All of these automatic things that get overlooked, focusing on them, intentionally noticing them, and loving that, being grateful for that, being joyful for that. Because I know we've all had a crick in our neck and we was just like, Lord have mercy.
What?
Ew. I just want to be able to turn to the right again, you know. And then once it's gone, it's like, oh yeah, great, I can move my neck. But then, months and weeks later, just no appreciation for the body at all,
Mhm.
Mhm,
So just having that intentional practice, I think, is really significant. And for myself, I am also shifting through some different life experiences at this time. And I am doing my best to remain in my gratitude as there's different contrasts coming up to show me what I really want from life. Because there have been some experiences that I could experience frustration, irritation, anger, being upset or disappointed, honoring what comes up and taking the time after I say, hey, feeling disappointed about this, hey, feeling frustrated about this, irritated about this. Okay. And now I get to choose to recognize what this is telling me.
Mm.
What I would really appreciate is this situation was a little different. And I'm grateful that I can have that awareness. I'm grateful that I can take action to make this shift. I'm grateful that I can use my voice. I'm grateful that I can write down a goal that's in alignment with what I actually desire. And then I'm grateful that I have the capacity and ability to do it. And that's how we are able to shift and transmute that energy so that we can stay in a space of gratitude. And that's something that's been really serving me. But yeah, I feel like I'm gonna land it there because I really want to hear what Aleese has to say. And yeah, we'll keep pressing.
Sure. Can you hear that noise in the background? Okay, great.
No.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, so listening to both of you, so much resonates within me as well. I think that right now I'm at a place right now in my life I never thought I would be. In every way. In every way. And so I think as I stay open to what Ramel refers to as expansion, not so much that I'm focused on expansion, but as I stay open to expansion, my life is just expanding. And every day I'm waking up to the newness of, wow, I am not what I was yesterday. There are things that I don't believe today that I didn't believe yesterday, that my mind has shifted yesterday. My needs are better or different today. My heart, the way I feel about things has shifted. You know, I'm growing and changing every day. And just being aware of that, having those aha moments, paying attention to myself and just having those aha moments like, oh, that's different. That's different, girl. That's good. And that's different. And so that's really where I am right now. I'm living this aha life, which I do think it is a little bit of privilege there. I think at this age, I think it may be a little bit easier for me to live the aha life. You know, I'll just say at 68, and you've navigated all the things that I've navigated. I think that, you know, you are just at a better place to be more open and receptive to your life constantly changing. I think as a young person, I probably would have thought if I realized my life was changing every day, I'd have been angry and frustrated that my life is not stable and constant. And, you know, I think I would have been with Ramel. Nothing's working for me. It's, you know, but I'm just learning the beauty of being in the flow, of allowing my life to just flow. And whether I understand what the flow is or not, because very often I don't, you know, it's hindsight. I'm like, ooh, look at there, girl. That's how you got here. That's how you got here.
Yes.
And so I think right now that's pretty much where I am. One of the so I had a bunch of stuff going on in my life a couple of years ago that really threw me off track, which is what started me to writing the book. And writing the book really started a deep healing process that I didn't know needed to take place at that level. It was my daughter kept inspiring me. She was like, you need to keep writing because it's going to be healing for you. And I thought, when I started, I thought, what is she talking about? Because, you know, I've been doing all my healing. And so I said all that to say that one of the things I learned on the journey, there were so many things, but learned on the journey of writing the book is, and I don't mean to sound cliche, is to accept the fact that I don't have control over anything. And that's a good thing. It took me a while to get to, I think I've always probably struggled with, sometimes I have control, if you do the right things, then you have control over. I think that's what we're taught. So if we study, if we do the right thing, if we behave correctly, if we go to church, if we tithe, if we pray, if we behave socially acceptable, we make the right decisions with our partners, if we do all the right things, then we're controlling our lives, and our lives will turn out the way they should, or the way we want them to. Because at 68, I know that's a lot. And so yeah. And so the journey in writing the book, I discovered was, the good news of I'm not in control. That for my life, there are things that I can work towards, and it might manifest the thing that I want, and it might not. There are things, that I can pray and do all the stuff for. It might manifest, and it might not. And in that, in having that conversation with myself and writing the book, I realized, okay, so when things actually happen the way I want them to, or not, that it's not just about me, that, so many things have to happen in this universe, not just in this world, in this universe, in order for the thing I want to manifest in my life to happen. And from the weather has to be right. There can't be any earthquakes or tsunamis. We can't have natural catastrophes. All kind of stuff cannot happen. We can't have meteors hitting the earth. So many things need to not happen to have the life that I say that I want. And so people within my family and community, I need them to cooperate, so to speak. I need them to do or not do certain things. I need for this system that we live in this world, I need it to be a certain way and do or not do certain things. There's so much that has to be in the makings in order for the things that I really want to happen. And so then I realized, once I realized that, I was like, okay, so when something manifests in my life, that's just not me. That's all of the universe. That's everything has shifted in a way in which, when it passed me by, as they would say in the old church, when it passed me by, it was good for me.
Yeah.
And so therefore I can't say, oh, look what I manifested this thing, or I worked hard and made this thing happen, or any of that, because everything made it happen for me. So I have to be grateful to the universe. I have to be grateful to all the people I know, people I don't know, people I like, people I don't like. I have to be grateful that the whole world and the universe shifted in a way in which the things I was hoping for actually manifested in my life. And so then with that truth, I was like, oh, so then I'm also not responsible when things don't manifest the way, so my mistakes are not my mistakes. They're not mistakes at all. Everything just didn't move that way. It just didn't move that way. I couldn't make it move that way. So much has to happen for it to move that way. So I can set myself free when things don't happen the way that I wanted them to. I don't have to blame myself or say back to the drawing board. How can I get better at this? I can let all that stuff go. So I can be grateful that things worked out for me. And when they don't work out for me, I can also be grateful that it's not my fault. It's not, I no longer have to live under that guilt or shame or whatever that I would tell myself because things didn't work out the way I wanted them to. And so that's where I am right now, this free place of not just celebrating that I don't have control. And I'm glad that I don't have control.
Being grateful for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm so grateful. And it allows me also, and this is the part that's a little pushy for me. It allows me, again, I have to be grateful again for all the people that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be grateful for all the things that I don't even know of
Yeah.
that allowed this wonderful thing that I've been wanting in my life to manifest.
Yeah.